Time to delve once again back into that dark, crazy mind that we all love so much of game developer Suda51. The Silver Case has got a sequel, and it's called The 25th Ward. With new characters, new mechanics, and of course, new insanity. Does this visual crime novel, where every cop seems to hate each other, manage to capture the magic of the original? Well, here we go. Here's my thoughts on the game. Number 1. Streamlined. As always with a Suda51 game, he manages to create a world that is truly memorable. The 25th Ward is essentially a city created to study the effects of criminal power. Crime is kept to a minimum, partly due to the ruthless postal system, who sends out so-called delivery men to kill people who commit even the most trivial of crimes. And once again, the heinous crime unit makes its return, only this time they've stepped up their game to become more like bloodthirsty killers instead of detectives. It's a violent, unpredictable setting where you never know who's about to kill who. It's less about solving small individual cases, but instead about piecing together the parts of a larger conspiracy. Now, if all of this was handled sloppily, it would have made for a very confusing experience, and to be fair, I did eventually get kind of lost as to what was happening, but it does at least start off clear. It doesn't barrage you with 100 different pieces of information within the first 10 minutes of playing Silver Case, so you feel like you're eased into things. It begins with a simple premise. A body is found in a high-rise apartment block, and things build up from there. Plus, it does help that now it's always obvious who's talking, a problem that it's fair to say the original had. But what is a little disappointing is the surprising lack of visual variety. Things like news reports, animations, and full motion videos have all been stripped away, leaving the whole game sticking to just one or two different styles. Maybe this was because it was originally released onto mobile devices back in 2005, so there may have been issues with the memory space, who knows. Sure, technically the graphics have improved, things look a higher quality, but at the cost of some of the creativity, which is a shame. The music does kick ass though. Number 2. Gameplay. Moving around these settings from apartment blocks to abandoned hotels is done at the click of an on-screen direction. It's always pretty clear what you need to do in an environment, whether it's talk to someone, look at something, or use an item. But it's not really about exploration. Once again, it's about experiencing the story as it unfolds, by reading through lengthy but entertaining dialogue sequences. You really are just trying to find the next thing to do to activate the next line of speech. There are, however, puzzles to solve, but for the most part, these are handled pretty poorly. The password puzzles provide no challenge whatsoever, as more often than not, you're told the answer only seconds before needing to enter them. So, say you go to the 1000 hotel, I wonder what the 4-digit passcode needed to open the front door is. And the online chat room puzzles can get extremely tiresome. If you don't select the correct thing to say next out of 3 possible options, the conversation ends and you have to start again. You then have to go through the same lines of dialogue until you can guess at a different response. The game says you need to follow the flow of what's being said, but let's face it, all you really can do is guess. Maybe this worked better in the original Japanese version. Number 3. A Tale of 3 Stories. This time around there are 3 unique stories to explore. The first part, called Correctness, follows 2 heinous crime unit detectives who are both as violent and mad as each other. This is the story which really goes off the rails. Oh boy. At probably around the time when the male cop, Mokutaro Shiruyabu, is confronted by 7 assassins which he must defeat in Pokemon-style battles, and in which he defeats the only female assassin by, essentially raping her. It leaves you scratching your head thinking, okay, so our heroes just raped someone. It shows how this so-called criminal power can seep into anyone's heart, but the problem with this idea is, it leaves us without any characters that we can relate to. There's no more heroes in this world, I guess. The second story is Matchmaker, and this has a lot more heart to it. Don't get me wrong, everyone here's still a ruthless killer, but it does strike a chord when it deals with the teacher-student relationship of ex-Yakuza gangster Tsuki and the young sweet-toothed Osato, who often ends up making some really dumb decisions. But you end up caring about him because you can tell that his heart's in the right place. This was arguably the best of the 3 stories, as you followed this pair and their work for the Regional Adjustment Bureau, a high-level secret government organisation who tries to keep their own existence a mystery. And what does adjusting someone mean? Well, of course here it means killing them. Finally, Placebo saw the return of our highly anticipated favourite freelance reporter, Morishima Tokyo. He wakes up in a boat in the 25th ward with his same old pack of cigarettes, although he's trying to give them up, same old pet turtle, and same old email address. Only this time he's lost his memory, and so is trying to piece together what happened while diving into the mysterious world of online sex chat. Classy. Each of these 3 stories has a very different feel, with the overarching theme of this criminal power connecting them. They all have their funny and dark moments, and all come together in a brand new final chapter, not featured on the original mobile version. Here, there's almost a whopping 100 different endings to choose from, but don't get too excited though. None of them make a whole lot of sense. Like on purpose, no sense whatsoever. And each one takes around 5 minutes to complete, so yeah. Thanks for making me sit through 500 minutes of this just to get that platinum trophy. Not a particularly high note to end the game on. Any creation by Suda51 is always treading a thin line between too over the top and too safe. I think that here it did a bit of both. It went too wacky with some of the plot and yet too safe with its presentation. I don't mind a visual novel having little gameplay, but what gameplay there is here falls flat. It ends up making an experience perhaps not as special as the Silver Case, but that's why whenever a character from the original turns up, it briefly engages you just that little bit more. It's still one hell of a ride. Thanks for watching.
The 25th Ward.